Hello, my name is Anne, and this is Toby, and welcome to a Tobyknits Vlogtober week 2. If you're new to my channel, then welcome. Go and grab a cup of tea and get comfy. We could be here for a little bit. I am originally from England. I came over to Canada, which is where I live now, in Ontario, when I was 25, which was 40-odd years ago. And I came as a children's nanny, believe it or not. I worked as a nanny for a couple of years and then met my Canadian husband. We got married, kids of our own. They're all grown up now, and now I've got grandchildren. Oh, it's lovely. I retired 5-6 years ago, and I lead a very crafty life now. I knit, I crochet, I quilt, I cross stitch. Sometimes I scrapbook, but you know, it's just all the crafty business. So get your cup of tea, get comfy. This past week has been a little bit different because most of it has been the drama behind the Stephen West mystery knit along Geogradient, which I'm hoping is all now behind us. I am very happy with how my direction has gone. I do have 2 unfinished pieces that I had started, scrapped, restarted, scrapped. Now I'm doing his actual proper Cluth one again, the 3rd version. And I'm just gonna use those other 2 pieces of pretty fabric and just hang on to them until the end. In case I run out of yarn, then I'll go back and I'll frog. Oh. And use that yarn, kind of almost like you would a sock blank, because a sock blank is usually something that's knit and stocking stitch, and you just pull an end and you leave it all there, and you knit with it from the blank. So I'm just going to do that if I run out. If I don't, well then I don't. Great, even better. So yeah, so today is overcast and dull, which kind of is how I was feeling all day today, because as you know, Shawn and Megan and the lovely Leo went back home to Nova Scotia yesterday, and it was just so weird waking up this morning not to hear Nana, Papa coming from his little room. So it was just quiet. We all slept in, and you know, that's okay. The noise will resume tonight because Tristan, my 3.5-year-old grandson who lives in the next town, is coming over for a sleepover. So let's all go in this house. I'm not kidding. Oh, can you just imagine if they actually lived closer than Nova Scotia? Christ, they'd be all over here all the time. I'd be babysitting forever, wouldn't I? Never get any crafting done. Oh yeah, stay there, Shawn. Anyway, let's get on and talk about today's make-along. Oh no, wait. I have to show you who came to visit this morning in the backyard. Well, I hadn't seen them for a couple of days, but look who's back in my yard. I wonder if Thanksgiving had anything to do with it. Look at my tree now. Oh. Isn't it beautiful? Well, all those leaves won't be beautiful when we have to rake them up though. I wish you could see the colors on these birds because they're beautiful. Totally taking no notice of me. No, don't care. Toby, on the other hand, is very upset with them being in the garden. Where are they, Toby? Where are they? Where's those birdies, Toby? Where's those birdies? They are by far my favorite little animals. Well, they're not really little, they're very big. And the funny thing was, they weren't around for like about 2 weeks because they basically live in my backyard. But I didn't see them for like 2 weeks. They were just missing. And of course it was Thanksgiving this past weekend. They're probably hiding in case we ran out and tried to catch one and make it for dinner. Not that I would, they're my friends. Anyway, so I am now gonna show you my Clue 1, version 3 of the Stephen West knit-along. And I didn't like the look of it at first. When I very first saw him show it to us, I thought, oh, that looks boring. Yes, it's not exciting. And again, in my last video, I explained to you that in Stephen we trust, and I also want to learn new things. And one of the things I'd never done was knit a square in the round. That doesn't even like square round. No, it's doesn't compute very well with me. And here's a picture of the first color block, let me call it. And you can see I used magic loop just like he did. Now, I have to tell you, 3 times I had to cast this on and undo it and cast it on and undo it and cast it on because I couldn't quite get the tension right. I couldn't get the stitch count right. What I kept forgetting to do was the last make one. I do the first one after you slip the first marker, and then when it came to the end, I was not doing the last one, so I wasn't getting an even amount of stitches. Once I realized what I was doing, it got easier. So by the 3rd time of casting it on, it was in my head, I got it. But I kept looking at it and thinking, how are we supposed to do the sides? I don't get it. Like in his pictures, it's all 4 sides in it. I'm not understanding this because mine didn't seem to have stitches on the sides. It had stitches on the top and stitches on the bottom. And I kept thinking, I don't even know if I'm doing this right. So then, and I kept trying to pull it into a square. And then it wasn't until a little bit later, it's partway through the 2nd color, that I realized you're not supposed to pull it. You're supposed to leave it, and you're supposed to knit it like this. Now, does that not make more sense to you? And here's where the magic came. Look where I'm up to now. Look at that! All my sides have stitches. Like, how did that happen? It's magic. I'm not kidding. So when I knit it, here's how I've been knitting it. So what am I on next? I'm on a, so if I get my needles like this, and here's the other thing that I found a bit wonky. Stephen pulls his working needle from the front to knit the back stitches. I never do that. I pull my working needle from the back and I work on the front stitches. So I put a stitch marker to mark basically the beginning of the round. So I'm actually going to move this up now to there. So this is going to mark the beginning of my round for me. So I will pull this back needle out and knit across here all the way. Then I turn, I pull, and then I'll knit the other side. And what I did was all my markers are basically the same. They're these little ones with a with like a pearl or a bead on them. I have no idea where I got them from. Except my last one is a star. I don't know if you can see that. And the reason for that is when I pick up and look at this, I can tell if I'm on the front or the back of the first row or second row. And that way I can tell. As soon as I look, I can see, oh yeah, I'm still supposed to be doing this. So to me, it makes it easier. So this is how I have been knitting it. Not trying to stretch it open, but when you do open it, it does form that perfect square with all sides knitted. It's magic. Stephen, you're very clever. And again, yes, it was fiddly, the first square with magic loop. Yes, it was. I'm not going to lie to you. It was fiddly. I kept losing my thingy bobs, stitch markers. But the bigger it's getting now, the much easier it is. And it's nice to have it on the magic loop. So persevere with it if you're still struggling to get that first little section. Once you get through onto this part, your second color, it's much easier. And I also found that I like to just count how many stitches I have between the two stitch markers to make sure I'm right. You know, as I'm going, I usually do the count on the purl side. And that way I can tell that I've got all the correct amount of stitches as I'm going along. And now I don't even need to use the pattern. I just knit away. I look at my stitches to see where I think I am, and I'm enjoying it very much. Actually really am. I'm excited about it. Will I get it finished for Thursday? No, probably not. Do I care? No. And plus, I haven't done anything else since this because I just needed to focus on it, get it on the needles, get it correct, and then, you know, maybe now I can go back to some of my other things. I might actually go down and do some sewing this afternoon before Tristan gets here, because, you know, that's a waste of time if down there went easier. I can't do that then. Or maybe I'll just keep sitting here in the quiet with my cup of tea and work some more on my shawl. Yeah. See you tomorrow. Hello. It is Wednesday, October the 11th. And one of my, I hope she's a new subscriber, Izzy, said that she had liked the quilt that was on the wall behind me when I was chatting yesterday. So I thought I'd show it to you. So here it is. This is a quilt. It was a kit in a weekly mystery quilt along from the Fat Quarter Shop, which is an online quilting store in the US. So they sent all the fabric, and then each week we had a different clue to do. The first clue was the bat, and so we had to make 4 of them in the first week. Then we had to do the pumpkins, and we had to do 4 of them, and then the center, and then I think the final part was putting the border on and the binding, and then the backing is this. And this was one of the first quilts I put together, I think. So this was 3 Halloweens ago. And I stitched it all by machine, but then I actually hand stitched the whole things together. The whole 3, the front, the backing, and the batting. And I did them all. I had I can't even think what it was called, like a stencil. So I drew on it, and then I stitched, and then you heat press the pencil off. But that is my I think it was called Bats and Booze, but if it isn't the name of it, I'll put it on. But yeah, that was my bit of quilting. I love to quilt. I only started quilting during the pandemic when it started, but I've done quite a few bits and pieces now. And the other thing I wanted to show you today was where I'm up to on my Stephen West. Look! I can't get over how I'm making a square in the round. Like, it's just blowing my mind how it's turning out. Absolutely love it. So I'm just about to add the next pale color, and these are all my own hand-dyed yarn. So yeah, it's coming on good. Hello. It is Thursday, October 12th, and I just got back from doing some grocery shopping, and I got Toby some treats because, you know, you just have to do that kind of thing for your dog, don't you? But yeah, so it's Thursday. Oh, these are bigger than I thought they were going to be. You want a biscuit, Toby? Oh, there you go. So yeah, just got back from doing a few bits. Can you believe how much grapes are? Oh my God, a bag of grapes, 12 something. Nearly $13 for a bag of bloody grapes, Christ. Anyway, I don't know, that's just a little bit too much for my liking, but what are you gonna do if you're trying to eat healthy? Oh, and look what else. Tim Hortons says a new soup. Oh, say hello, Bob.
Hello, Bob.
He's doing grocery, laundry. So anyway, I had to come on. I was so excited. Did you see Clue 2? Did you see Clue 2? I can't wait to get started on it. And I was a bit panicky at first because I thought, oh my gosh, I wanted to start with color A, and I think I end with color B because I really wanted my D color to stand out with the garter stitch. But I think it still will, because even if I do the eyelets, if I start with C and do the eyelets in C, then the B stands out. Then the eyelets again, I think, aren't they? In, I don't know, in B, C, D, A, that would be the white. And then the paler blue, or would be the color. Anyway, I think it's gonna look absolutely gorgeous, and I can't wait to get going. So I'm gonna put all this stuff away. Gonna sit down and have a cup of tea. I did start a sock last night. It's actually my own sock pattern, and I'll tell you more about that tomorrow though, because I haven't got very far. I'm only on the cuff. So yeah, I'm gonna go and put this away, have a cup of tea, and start carrying on with my Clue one so I can get the Clue 2. Oh, thank you, Stephen. I love it so much. Okay, bye. Of all the toys, this is what he plays with. A toilet roll. Empty toilet roll. Crazy dog! But you gotta love him, though. Hey! Hello. Just watching a little bit of footy. England are playing today. It is Friday the 13th. Oh, I didn't even realize it was Friday. No bloody wonder. Oh, so before I went downstairs to do some sewing. Well, actually not sewing. What the problem was I'm going away on Tuesday for 3 days to a retreat. And it's a quilting retreat. And so what I have to do is I had to get all my stuff that I was going to take with me ready. So I was cutting out some pieces of like blocks so that I can take all that together with the instructions and then just make the blocks when I get there. And, well, of course, I cut them all wrong, didn't I? I cut some of the pieces wrong, so I had to cut them again. And then I kept dropping things. Oh, my God, I kept dropping things. And then I decided I was going to quilt a project that I have finished the front. It's a Halloween project. I'd finished the front. I'd got the backing cut, and I put the batting in between and had it all ready to quilt. So I thought I'll quilt that, and then I'll take it with me and I'll do the binding when I get there, because, you know, when else am I going to get it done? So I thought I'd do that. Well, crimes, they haven't scored again, have they? No. Have they? No. No, still 1-0. England's playing Australia. Anyway, sorry about that. All those who are Australian. Sorry. It's just a friendly. Don't worry. It's just a friendly. So anyway, so I got it all. I started quilting. I was doing free motion quilting, and I'm not that great at it, but I'm okay. I started to get my little swirls going and all that, and then the bobbin ran out. Of course it did, right halfway through. So I unpick it, like I pull it out to look at it, and then I realize I'd sewn the backing to the wrong part. Like it had flipped underneath, and it, anyway, so I had to rip half of it out. So that's obviously why. It's Friday 13th. Should I, we then ask ourselves, be working on this today? Yes, I'm still nowhere near done. I've got two and a half more stripes to go, and then I'm finished. Because I think there's 10 stripes, right? So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm on the 7th. Halfway through the 7th, 8, 9, oh, 3 more stripes. Well, I'll just keep watching the football and doing this, and we'll see what happens. Okay, see ya. Oh, that's hot. I'm at Tim Hortons, having a cup of tea. My husband waiting for my son, my grandson, and my granddaughter. It's a beautiful day. Okay, bye. There's a pumpkin in our house. Toby!
Oh my God.
Toby! Toby's a little pumpkin.
That's cute, huh? I thought that was Evelyn's outfit.
No, it's for Toby.
That's cute. He doesn't mind it either, right?
No. Oh, look at all those leaves. Poor Bob is gonna go and clean it all up.
Pardon?
You're gonna go clean, are you cleaning the leaves or just the backyard?
No, I'm just cleaning the backyard.
Oh.
Just tidying it up. Haven't touched.
Hello, so it is Saturday evening now, and I've had a fun day today. So we met up with the kids for Timmy's. Tim Hortons is like a coffee shop here in Canada, and so we went there, and then we took Tristan and Evie over to the dollar shop and let them roam around and pick out, they pick the weirdest things, honest to God. Like there's all these Cindy dolls, and there's all these boy stuff and cars and tanks and this and that and Lego and Play-Doh. Some kind of squishy ball is what they ended up with that lights up. I'm like, really? Anyway, but look at one of the things I picked up. Oh, is that not the funnest thing? Now it says it's 30 you assemble it without glue and chemicals. Oh, and the models produce motion. How does that have motion in it? I don't know. Anyway, so I'm excited. This is supposed to be for 14 plus, but I just thought it was cool. And so I'm going to make that. I might try and make that tomorrow, and I'll let you see what happens. Yeah, so that was kind of fun. And then came home and I did a little bit more knitting while I watched Irina on Fiber Chats. She did another Zoom, so I went on that. So I'm a bit further. I've only got 2 more rows of this, and then the 4 rows of the white, and then the 8 of the very pale blue. And then I will be ready to start. And I was having a bit of a time because I really wanted this color to stand out in the garter stitch. I didn't want this color to be the eyelets. Oh, that's a spoiler in case you haven't seen Clue 2. It turned out that that's okay because we'll be ending on the very pale blue. So this will be the eyelet. This will be the standout one. That will be the eyelets. That will be the standout one. So I think it's going to look lovely. Now, Irina actually did it where she started again from her first color. So it kind of made almost like a double. Anyway, it made this part sort of look different, stand out from the rest that's going to start happening. But I don't know, I still haven't decided if that's what I want to do, or do I want to start with A. Ooh. It would still work out even if I started with A, then that dark blue would be a pop. So I'm not concerned about that. I'm going to go on all the boards later, I think, once I've finished knitting this. I'm hoping I can finish knitting this tonight and just see how others have done it. Have they started with continuation of the colors? So they started the next set with C, or did they just start again with A? Anyway, but I love it. I'm really enjoying knitting it. I do not find it boring because it's nice, easy knitting when you're watching the telly. And it's such an easy pattern, I don't have to look. Now, I love the look of this. So check this out. Imagine that's a room right at the bottom of the house. And it's like, this is a tunnel and you have to go all the way to the room. Ooh, can you see it? Ooh. Anyway, I know I'm weird, but I love stuff like that. And whenever I see a picture of a laneway, but you can't see what's at the end of it, I want to go find that laneway and I want to walk up it. Anyway, there you go. I did, however, cast something else on. Yes, I am not completely monogamously working on the Stephen West. I cast on my new socks. If you don't know, I just started sock designing. I have up on Ravelry a free pattern called the Holiday Socks. And I also have a paid for pattern called the Spooky Spider Socks. And they look like this. And they released on October 1st. So you still have time to knit them for Halloween if you want. But they're kind of cool. The spiders come down on a thread. And one of my test knitters, Soxy Nana Alice, she put sparkle thread in her spiders and down the thread of the, ooh, they look so cool. So anyway, yeah, that's those. So they're up on Ravelry now, but I'm now working on another sock and I've already knit one pair for myself so that I could write the pattern and everything. And this is what they look like. And these are called the evergreen trees. Now, if you don't know, I have 2 giant evergreens. They're, what are they? Blue spruce, 2 big giant blue spruce in my front yard, right by the road. So these are my 2 blue spruces by the road. They are side by side. And then behind them, I have a bunch of tall cedars, which keep getting battered by the ice storms that we get here in the winter time. And one of them has a permanent bow, but you know, it hasn't come down yet. I won't let Bob cut it. But the little trees go all the way around the socks. And then this, as I said, is my road. And then you come down, and in the winter time, all the snow is here, and we get all the bits of the evergreen tree branches on the ground in the snow. And then you come down here, and there's the toe, and it's a rounded toe, typical heel flap and turn. So these are the new evergreen socks. These will be released, I think, December 1st, although it is my birthday, November 30th, so I might release them on that day. So I've knit this pair in a 64, so I am making these for Bob in a 72, and these are the colors I'm doing his. And this yarn, this was my own hand-dyed yarn, because I do dye yarn. I don't do a lot of it. I just do small batches. So this was, I was going to offer this as a kit, but I'm not going to now, because I don't have time. I'm going to Nova Scotia in 6 weeks for the baby coming. And then next week I'm at a quilt retreat, so I haven't got time to dye it and ship it. So I won't for this sock, but maybe another sock I have in mind I might. And so this yarn is actually Michael's yarn, and this is Wool-like, it's called, by Loops and Threads, and it is 85, wait, I just had it on the website so I could tell you. Yeah, 85% acrylic, 15% nylon, and it's quite inexpensive. It's like $4.99 Canadian. So I wanted to try, this is, of course, a hand-dyed 85% merino, 20%, 15% nylon, something like that. But this is an acrylic. So I wanted to see the difference in how they knit up between the merino and the acrylic. So I'll bring you along on this journey and show you how that goes, because so far it looks very nice. It's silky. I find it quite soft and silky. But anyway, so that's what I've been working on, and I'm now going to go make my dinner, supper as they say in Canada, tea as I say at home in England, and put my feet up and try to get this finished tonight, because I've decided I'm never on time with the Stephen West things ever. I always fall behind, and of course this one has been 3 times as worse because I've started it 3 times. So my plan is going to be Sundays are Stephen West Thursdays. So Sunday, I'm going to get this finished tonight. Then Sunday, I will start Clue 2. Then the following Sunday, I will start Clue. Who's with me? Who wants to make Sunday the new day, the new Thursday? What do you think? Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this week's Vlogtober, and I will try and get this all up maybe for tomorrow, but if not, definitely on Monday, and I will then see you next week because I'm going on that retreat, so I will take my camera with me and you can see what I'm going to be sewing. And yes, I'm taking knitting as well. Of course I am. All right, I'll talk to you next week.